Get this going. Okay. So let me
There you
start here with SoloStats Live. And this is a completely refactored application because one of the things that's happening is that the longer we're out there taking stats, the more teams are getting more proficient and also going after more stats and trying to get more of the inter-alley contacts and not wanting to miss them. But that's compounded by the fact that the players are getting better. So the rate of play is improving, which means that the touches are coming in a lot faster, which means it's harder to take stats, right? Because there's a lot of
go. Right.
contacts. And my son's a pretty phenomenal stat taker, and unfortunately, he went off to college, so I lost him. And when I lost him, I realized how hard it is for the average human who's not, 18 with fantastic reflexes, game reflexes. And he's a open division 18s player too, so he knows the game. He's coached a lot, and he can also take stats really fast. And the key thing that happened with us was how do you make this thing go faster so that it's easier to take stats. So the live product is literally 2 to 3 times faster than any other app out there, and I'll show you why in a second. And then it runs on a phone. You can run it on an iPad or any tablet if you want, but it runs on a smartphone, which makes it kind of convenient so that you don't, have to carry around a tablet. You don't have to, buy tablets for your teams. Tablets get broken pretty regularly because I get messages like that all the time. And then with the smartphone being a phone and always connected, it allows you then, as you're statting, to have that stat go to our servers, and we can actually broadcast out the stats to other coaches, parents, and just general fans, and even the players. Okay. So the app, get to my next screen here. I'm not going into full screen here because I'm going to have to switch between screens. It's going to be a little annoying otherwise. So the app is designed like this. We separate out the number of buttons so that we try to minimize the number of things that you have to actually look at to touch, because that actually slows you down.
Mhm.
And so the first touch is always a player, and it's followed by a second touch, which is the action. And if you notice the way it's set up, it's like texting where your thumbs are over the key buttons. And what I like to do is I like to put my outside hitters in these lower two positions down here, left and right. And then the libero
Mhm.
can be anywhere, but we have a shortcut key down here. So right now the libero's up here, substituting for the back row of a middle blocker. The other middle blocker's over here, but then the libero is going to switch to this side as we flip-flop them, because we want to keep accurate in and out counts. Um, and so the libero button has a shortcut key down here. You can just press that. And the idea is this. The end of rally stats, you got a lot of time because the whistle blows, nothing's going on, and you can just press the buttons. The real issue is the in rally
Right.
touch, right? And the biggest problem is you look down to stat the dig, you look up, and the hit's already taken place. Okay. And
Right.
so we want to have the ability for you to be heads up during particularly the first in rally contact so that you can track the next one. And once the hit's done, you got a little more time before the ball comes back typically. And so the way our product works is that it allows you to index your thumbs down here, and then the next page has the in rally stats. So let me switch over to the app itself so you can see what that looks like. And hang on, while I bring that screen into view here. Okay, so this is what the SoloStats live screen comes up looking like when you first log in. And then we'll go to capture
Mhm.
stats, the button up here. And then let me just do just a test one here. All right, and I'm going to dive into the game. Now, a couple things that we do differently is that we actually have the ability to create lineups now. So you can actually go in here and preset your team and have a name for it. Okay, so you put in your
Uh-huh.
serving order by rotation,
Right.
and then you can locate the buttons exactly where you want them. So I locate my outside hitters here. These are going to be the substitutes that are going to be right next to them in the middle. So I put my subs next to the player they're going to replace. And so let me just go to the capture screen, and you'll see what it looks like. Okay. So in this case, I've got two
Okay.
liberos. I've got my two outside hitters down here. This libero hasn't gone in, so let me just put her in. Um, so I just tap on the libero, and then I'm going to sub her in for this out of middle blocker. Okay, so now the libero button down here is lit. And so the way it works is that let's just tap the libero button, and you see the primary buttons are sitting right under the left thumb. right? So the libero press is literally tap, tap. So you hit the libero button and you hit it again because it digs right underneath it, because that's primarily what the libero is going to be doing, right? So let's touch Jackie, and Jackie's an outside, and we tap that again to get hit and play. Okay. So once you memorize that,
Okay.
it's pretty easy to take in-rally stats without looking down. And then the time that you look down will be for terminating stats. So for example, we hit Leah and we say it's earned and it's a spike. So that looks pretty much like solo stats today, right? Those are the key components. And these buttons are going to be
Right.
familiar to you because we have replicated them, although we've added new features to the product. So there's more that you can do. So one of the things you'll see, for example, is there's a substitution count. And because we formalize the substitution process, the counts will actually, count correctly. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see the last entry here, and then we have a stack of different undos now. So you have your standard undo, which will just take you back, the full point. You have an adjust entry. So let's say I go in here and I say Valerie did an earned spike, and I say, oh, no, wait, it wasn't really a spike. And I'll hit the adjust button, and then I'll go back. Now Valerie's still selected, and I'll say, no, it was an earned tip. Okay. And then you can see up here in the last entry what we put in, right? So a lot of the elements, you're already familiar with, but we've made a few things a little bit better. Replay button will take you all the way back to the beginning of the point, right? So if you've got a long rally, ball on, just press that button and it'll take you back, whatever, 5, 6 touches back. Okay. Stats are still
Okay.
here as before, right? So they're all here, and we also have a second page which has the point tree and then the play-by-play, right? The point log.
Okay.
And what else do we have on the screen that's important? Just a couple of additional ones. For example, let's just say we do a block. Now we have the double block actually here, so you don't have to do the assist process, right? You can pick the second blocker. Okay, so that's a little bit easier. We also have another one where, let's say your player has an earned and they do an overpass kill. So this will make sure that that kill is not credited to an assist to the current setter, right? Which is the way the system works. Okay, so you don't have to uncredit them for the assist.
Right.
Okay, so all these little updates through feedback we've made into the system, so it's a little bit easier to do the updates and track properly.
Okay, and then is this purely on, this looks like the way it's set up, is this purely on a phone versus a tablet? Most of us do use a tablet here.
You can use
So
a
I don't ever
tablet.
see the short screen.
You can use a tablet, and what we do is the tablet's in the vertical position so that you can hold the tablet and use your thumb
Right.
across the width. I have an iPhone
Okay.
6 Plus that I stat with, and the width of an iPhone
Okay.
6 Plus is almost identical to an iPad. Right, so the narrow
Okay.
width of the iPad is the same width as the long width of the iPhone. Okay, so you'll still be able to use your thumbs with an iPad.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So that's the core part, and so the second part of what this does is, let me go back out. Let's close this and let's go back out to the screens. So now, typically, when you're taking stats, you're the head coach. You probably have an assistant taking stats for you. And what you can do then is in this live
Right.
broadcast button, you can actually look at, so for example, my phone is the one at the top here. This is iPhone 6. But my son was taking stats. So if I click this
Mm-hmm.
guy, and now I can actually watch him taking stats during the match, right? And get the the live data. So this is my screen on my phone, and he's sitting on the bench taking stats,
Okay.
and I can look down and say, okay, how are we doing? What's our error rate look like? Who's the next server coming up, and so forth, right? So this was an actual match that we lost 31-33. It was pretty brutal, but it was all our fault, so it was a good learning thing. But so you can see that you get a lot of the key stats here, and in fact, I can go over and look at player stats as well. Okay. And so you don't have to go over and ask your stat taker, how's it going? Who's doing what? You can just look at your phone and see what's going on from what they're punching in. So this is all part of this sort of live broadcast system that we have. Okay. And if if you're using an iPad that doesn't have a Wi-Fi connection, you could also potentially hotspot your phone and connect that way.
Right.
So there's lots of ways to kind of get this connectivity. Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So that's the first part of it, and then the next part of it is so the coach can see the much more detailed screen, but we have another thing called SoulSet Fan, and what Fan is a separate free app that allows you to broadcast out to other folks. So this could be other coaches, it could be parents, and it could be players, anyone else you want to have participate in watching. So let me go to that part. So let me just go to the screen here. So, when you invite people, this is within Web Reports, and you're actually able to, in Web Reports, then select your team and be able to then begin a sharing process. And so let me actually get a live screen up so you can actually see this.
Okay. Katie has a court by herself and she doesn't know what court she's on. Okay.
Hang on a second. I'm lost. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'll back up a second here. So this is Web Reports, and let's go to my team from last year. So you see some new buttons here. Oh, you know what? This is the test version. Sorry. That's okay. We can start here. So if I hit the share button, then I can actually enter a person, their email address, and here's the important thing: you can select from a different levels of visibility. So if you don't want like player level data out there, you can just select team, and so they'll just see the higher level stuff. If it's another fellow coach, maybe it's an assistant coach right there, you can select all players, or then you can select only ace players. Let's say we want to show Allie just to her parents, okay, which is the way I have it set up for my team.
Okay.
Okay, and then when you press invite, they'll receive an invite. They'll be asked to download the Fan app, which is free and runs on Android and iOS. And then they'll be able to go in and look at it. Let me just jump over to the actual app here. Okay. So here's my team from this weekend, brand new, and we just sort of a tune-up tournament. And so let's just dive in. I'll click on a particular match, and so you can see here, the different games that we played, right? And here's some scores.
Okay.
And this is selected because I have access to all players. I can see all my players, but let's just say I change to somebody else. And then at the bottom, there's a play-by-play. Okay. So you can actually, and these scores are coming in as the stat taker is taking her stats in live and being populated. And I've got all my parents set up on this. And in fact, one of the parents came kind of rushing into the convention center with his roller bag. He was just coming in from the airport, and he says, "Hey, I was watching that last game on Uber, and this is the one that we lost 31-33." And he was all excited that he was able to, keep up with what was going on, and which is exactly what this is for. It's for both people who are there, and particularly for parents who can't make it because they're traveling, or maybe they have two kids and they have to go to two different venues, right? So it really makes it possible to kind of build this community around it. The other way we use it is actually to keep the entire club informed. So in this list here, at the very beginning, let me go back to the top. At the top of this list, you can actually be subscribing to multiple teams here. And what will happen is that at a tournament, it'll tell you what the upcoming match is for a given team, and it'll say, 3 o'clock, this match is happening live right now. This match is occurring because you can actually see the score, right?
Okay.
And so, like at a
Right.
qualifier, you can get all your folks over, in time, right? To say, oh, they're in the tiebreaker right now. Let's get all over there because AES and all that stuff, right? They list after the fact, so that information's too late to provide you with what you need to know that it's time to go over. And
Okay,
with the
so let me
schedule,
ask you,
uh-huh,
stop you there for a second. So when you're subscribing to all teams,
uh-huh.
is this something that, so say myself as a director, here I keep stats for my team, but then I'm going to have to download the fan app as well. Like I'm going to have them both so that I can, when I'm at an event, keep track, I can subscribe to the other teams. Is that
Yes.
correct?
The easiest way, when it's not the team that you're directly affiliated with, it's much easier to use the fan app because the fan app is designed to track teams. The
Okay.
SoloStats live product is designed to do stats for your team. So it's fine to be linked into your team to see the detailed stats, but it's not very good as a list manager because the fan apps is designed to create this list of, upcoming, current, live, and then archived, completed matches. So the
Okay.
interface is a lot simpler because it's primarily a read-only type of app.
Okay.
And I just flip-flop between the two. I have them both open. That makes sense? Okay. So, and the main thing about it is, the app is free, so you can get it out to, as many families as you like. We talked about this extensively at the AVCA convention, and one of the things that came up with some other ways to use this, one of the things we will provide over time is that a player can actually subscribe to the fan app and have lifetime stats. So
Okay.
from season to season, if their coaches are using a SoloStats product, they'll be able to access themselves in the product.
Okay.
So they can actually see their scores from high school to club to high school to club over years.
Okay.
The other parts of the sharing piece that were interesting concepts that came up from the folks who were at the convention, because people have been using this during the fall season. One was temporary access to college recruiters during a tournament. So, you send an invite to somebody who wants to keep track of your kid during that tournament, and then you can shut it off because it's very easy to remove a person that you're sharing with. Other ones are kind of league association types of things where they want to track stuff. Well, if the group is doing this, then it would all show up automatically, so they don't have to call people to find out what the scores were. And then for high school usage, this whole newspaper media situation where they're phoning you or you have to phone them and send them stats. Well, you could have all the stuff automatically in their hands by providing the high level information here. Okay. So the next really important thing that we've created is our performance benchmarks, and this allows you to see how well you're doing relative to national averages. We have 4 years worth of data going into our fifth year now, and so we've got hundreds of thousands of matches and sets in our system. And what we've done is we've cranked through all this stuff and divided up by levels because when you sign in, you determine what level of play you're at. So whether it's a college or a junior college or high school, 18s, 16s, whatever. So we did this breakout of correlations, and there's an entire presentation on our website about benchmarks that I presented at the AVCA convention. This is just a little snippet showing, what correlates most towards winning and then most towards losing. So it goes from the obvious point scoring and side outs to kills and aces, all the way down on this side to receive errors and dig errors. Okay. And then
Okay.
with that, we have charts that go along with this. So, here are the key ones that matter. Here's some curves around this. And within the product itself, so if you go to our website, let me just dive into our website here. Let me bring that screen up in a sec. So at our website, right at the top now, right, we've got this, performance benchmarks link. And here it tells you, I actually have a copy of the video of the presentation I made and a slide set that gives you the details. And then if you click the benchmarks for
Okay.
your team, like this one's a 17s team, so it's in an 18s bracket. Here are the stats for that team for that season. So this is my Red Rock 72 team from a couple of years ago, right? And here are the curves, okay? So here are the kills. So these are the number of actual sets that were used. So there are about 4,000 sets that showed about 10 kills per set. And then on this side, it tells you what your predicted win rate would be for that number. So for example, if I went up to 12 kills per set, I would jump up to 75% win rate. Right? So each of these stats gives you a rough idea of where you stand, and then by reading the report, you can know which ones to focus in on first to improve your overall win rate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And all this charting is automatic. When you log into your account for a given team, it will drop these lines in for you so you know exactly what you're looking at. And it'll give you an idea of where to focus your practice efforts. Okay. So those are the benchmarks. And again, like I say, it's included in Web Report subscription, so there's nothing to buy. It's just a button you press. Right, the next one is our director's dashboard, and this is for club directors. Provides central control of subscriptions. You can see all the stats for all the teams in your club, and then you can get real-time updates. So the top level of the dashboard looks like this. So you can see the win-loss rates, and then if you click on this particular team, it'll launch the web reports for that team, so you can look at the players. Right? And in here is kind of a status tracker of what's happening now and then what's coming up. Okay, and that's part of one of the pages on the dashboard. Yeah, so the rest of this is pretty straightforward. Okay, we completely upgraded our website, as you've seen, and we have lots of help information and videos now. So if you go to support and training, and for example, for SoulSets Live, on the left side here, there's a step-by-step that shows you, how to set up, capturing stats, right? Where to put your buttons and things. And then to the right here are actual videos that provide all of this in a video step-by-step. This is the important one. This actually tells you how to capture stats. So for some new folks at your club, this will be really useful. So if you play this video, it'll take you through watching a game and taking the stats, and also shows you why you want to place buttons in certain locations in SoulSets Live. Right. And we have additional coach training kinds of materials of using stats, to improve your performance. And I have some videos of sessions that I've done in the past at the AVCA that outlines kind of how to interpret stats and use them against your practices. Right. So the site's been upgraded completely, and it's a little easier to navigate, and there's a lot of content here and reference materials.
So with that, what you were just talking about, the director one, is that am I only able to see that on my web reports, or is that something I'm able to see within one of the two apps? Or basically,
no, it's
I'm
actually
just using the free app.
It's just a browser. It's a URL to a web page.
Okay.
That's assigned to the director, or we could have multiple people be able to sign into that account if you're multiple directors. And you just log into it, and you have sort of master view of your entire club.
Okay.
Have you done any video sync work?
No, I've not done any of that. We don't do a whole lot of it. Just at the club. I mean, for high school, we use it for both high school and club, but if we were going to do it anywhere, it would be in high school, not in club.
Okay. Let me just show you the process real quick so you have an idea of how simple this is. Boy, I'm losing my screens here. All right, let me just get into an account. Hang on 1 second. Okay, so let me launch this account. And this is a team from a couple years ago. And so the first thing you do is you just shoot the entire match, leave the camera on. You know, easiest to kind of switch sides, and then upload it to YouTube. Keep it as an unlisted file so that other people can't get to it, but you can. And then you just click that share button. You'll copy this URL, and then I'll do the synchronization now. So down here in setup, I'll click. It's the wrong team. So let's get to. All right, so let's go to this particular team, which was someplace mid-season. It is. Okay, so here's the team. It's from the Pacific Northwest Qualifier, Moxie 17. So I'm going to click Add Video. I'm going to paste my video in there. Then if I double click, oh, what happened? Something didn't go here. Again. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so now I'll double click the video to start it, and you'll see there's a lot of junk here, so we'll stop that. And I know this particular match starts at about a minute 40 in. So let's click that. Okay, back it up just a hair. So you just need to find the first action point that matches the first stat. And so in this case, the serve's going to go here to number 55. It looks like a good pass. We'll stop it there. So there's number 55. And 3 receive. And so what we're going to do is press. So you notice the offset is 0 right now. We're going to click this, and it should move to 150 something. So I'll sync that. It goes to 152. And the rest of this is now synchronized to real time. Okay. So that's it for the synchronization process. So now, just to make sure, sometimes you'll have some drift because your stat taker stops because they're participating in an argument with the referee or some wonderful thing like that.
Right.
But let me double click this guy and see at minute 34 what's going on. Oh, yeah, I missed that one. Sorry. Let me get this. Let me find a quicker one that I can. Let's go farther down. Let's go here. So this is number 7, making a kill. Okay. So the pass goes up. Number 7's on the left. All right. There it is. Okay. So now once you have this synchronized, then you can go over to the filter side and actually look at specific players. So you can go in here and say, I want to see this player, Bianca, and I want to make her, I want to see her, killing the ball, hit results. And all the things that have check marks are the ones that actually have videos associated with it. So there she is, right? So she's the back row, makes a kill. And let's try another one. Now, these synchronizations aren't going to be 100% unless you look at every single one of them. But for the most part, as long as your stat taker is relatively consistent, you should be able to see it. Here she is in the back row again.
Okay.
So you can actually filter and figure out exactly what's going on with your players. So if you have an error situation like you're doing your analysis, right? Then you find out that a certain player is having some problems with passing or something like that. You can actually go in and review that. So it makes it really easy. In her case, we had a situation where in rotation 4, she was making passing errors. So let's go rotation 4, and we go receive error, and same player, hit results. And we can say, let's look at this one here because it's easiest to see. I think it's that one. Yeah, that one's clipped here. Let's do the next one. It's probably a little better. So she's standing here. It's a 6-2. All right, so she's got that ball going to her right. She doesn't quite get behind it. There's another example up here. So the team is actually on the far part. She's actually standing up here, and it's literally the same move, right? The ball goes flying up. So that leaves you with a couple of options, right? You can actually work on her positioning, passing on that side of the court, or you could decide to just move her and the setter to the net and just get rid of that problem altogether if your oppo can handle the passing on this side. Okay, but that's an example of how the video sync could really help to figure out what's going on and then to be able to create a solution to that problem. Okay. The other things that have happened now too is within this video setup here, we're now at the point where you can actually edit. So you can go in here and say, it wasn't a spike, it was a tip, or maybe it wasn't, this girl, it was some other girl, right? Or maybe you missed a dig. You can actually go in here, or missed an in-rally touch, you can actually go in here and add stat to the rally. So this section is now fully editable, so it allows you to make those tweaks that you want to make sure that things are where they should be. Okay, so that's video. All right, and the last piece is just our partner part. We export to Huddle, we export to Max Preps, but the most recent one that we're just about to ship, probably in about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, is our integration with TeamSnap. Do you guys use TeamSnap at all?
They sponsor some of our events, and I hate to say this, I'm really not familiar with them. I don't really know a whole lot about them.
Yeah, TeamSnap is basically a scheduling app, right? So it's primarily for managing parents, where to go, who's going to bring what food, what time's the next practice, where's the location, all that kind of stuff. So it's a giant calendaring app, and they approached us to integrate because their stat pages are like all manual, and it's kind of a total pain. So we have a direct connection system now that within web reports, which is in our beta test process now, there's a TeamSnap button down here. If you press that and you synchronize, you match your team with the team in TeamSnap, then you can push data. There's a button down here that says TeamSnap push. If you push that button, then it'll send the stats over, and you'll see pages of data over at TeamSnap. So it makes that whole process super easy, and no manual handwork required. Okay. And TeamSnap's got something like 12,000 volleyball teams in their system, so they are definitely the dominant supplier in this whole sports scheduling space. Are you familiar with Echo?
Nope.
So Echo does real-time breakdowns of video at courtside. And so you set up an iPad with their software on it, you face it to the court, and then this is linked to SoloStats. And as you take stats, it breaks up the video into segments. And as it breaks up, you're taking the shot, you're taking stats over here, and then it'll break up clips. So you'll start the video, it'll stop at the end of the rally, create a clip called 20 to 24, and then within it, all of the stats that were taken for the in-rally touches will be shown. So if you tap any of these buttons, you can actually go right to that. And then you can actually filter against a player in an action and gather all those videos here. So you can literally do either in-game analysis or like at a tournament between matches, be able to go and look at what's going on and show the players, hey, you guys, are cheating up too much in this position, or, they're dumping and you guys aren't getting back to the high base position, things like that. Okay. So it's a really cool app that we're integrated with now, and provides, kind of real-time breakdowns. Okay, so the last section is some future stuff. We're in the process of building this product called SoulStats Touch, which is a lightweight product. One of the key requests is about doing practice stats. So this product will be basically a player and a stat, and it'll be very easy to configure it for practice purposes. The other thing we're working on right now is the ability to have multiple stat takers for a single match, so that you can distribute the touch load. So you can have one person, say, focused on digs, and then the other person doing the other stuff. So that way, you don't have back-to-back stats. It'll make it easier for less trained stat takers to keep up with the pace of the game and still get accurate results. And then, it can be used for other purposes like tryouts and things like that. All right, so that's it. And just a quick look at our pricing structure. For the stat product, we have 3 levels. The basic one is the stat product plus web reports and broadcasting, and it's $6.99 a month. So it's on a per team times number of month basis, and then we provide discounts based on the number of teams that you have. So you can mix and match this any way you want. You can extend the season as teams qualify or don't qualify, and so you can do whatever combination you want. You can have an intermediate package for one team and a basic package for another, and an advanced one for another. So you can choose kind of whatever combination per team, and we'll just send you a single invoice for that. The director's dashboard has a list price of $150, but if you post our logo onto your site, it's free. And then the SoulSet Fan product, as we've already discussed, is free. Okay.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So we have coaches that already use this app that maybe just renewed their subscriptions. So if we decide to go to this as a club, what happens then?
Well, you can do one of 2 things. I mean, you could choose either to if they want their own account and be independent because they use it for high school as well, then just ask them to be linked in so that you can actually have the stats on your dashboard. But they would go ahead and continue to pay for it. The other option is for you to pick up the tab, and that would mean that we'll have to do a special hold and credit for them for the time period that they're not using their own account.
Right.
So there's a couple of options. A little more handwork for the second situation, but that can be done.
Right. Okay, so if we go to right now, I was trying to look at what I have. How do I go to find that out? When I log into my web report?
You just log in. Actually, if you go to SoloStats here, to this site.
SoloStats Live.
And you go down here to your subscription. Okay. So if you click subscriptions, then it'll take you to a page. If you're not logged in, it'll ask you to log in, and it'll tell you exactly what you're subscribed to, right? So it says that I'm subscribed to the Advanced Blood, and I have 24 days left in this particular account.
Okay, so we're I'm in, looks like starter bundle, and then SoloStats 1, 2, 3 Pro subscription.
Okay.
I don't know what any of that means, but I would venture to guess that we're all probably pretty similar to that. But I have 20 days left on my subscription.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much longer Ron will have on his or Courtney will have on hers.
Okay.
But I could definitely find it out. So if multiple of us want to do this, and I would like to do this, then I should be pushing for us to do the
Make some noise.
Back to the pricing, whatever that was, the live.
Yeah, you're probably going to do the starter bundle.
If I don't, okay.
Yep.
But I need to do live because that's.
No, you can do either. If you prefer to continue with 1, 2, 3, you can use 1, 2, 3. It supports both. It's live or 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yep. We generally prefer that you move to live because it's where we're going to be investing, our ongoing technology.
Right.
And the 1, 2, 3 product will get incremental updates, but the bulk of the new stuff is going to be on the live side.
Okay.
But from a subscription standpoint, we're making it simple so that you actually don't have to choose. So it'll activate either side depending on what you're using.
Okay. Excuse me. So, all right. So starter bundle includes SoulSet Live, and so live broadcasting reports and insights capture. Okay. All right, and then you said $6.99 per month per team,
Right.
based on number of months.
Right. So if you already
Per
have
team
like about a
times
month
number of months.
left, if let's say your thing's going to expire at the
Uh-huh.
end of this month, right? Then all you need to do, let's say if you need 6 months, you just need to
Right.
add 5. So you could do it that way as well.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would assume everyone will do January to June. That's what
Okay.
we would do. I mean, minus myself or Ron or Courtney that already are using it. Like I said, I don't know exactly. Actually, I can tell you. So I have 20 days left on mine. Let me log into Ron's. I feel like we just renewed his not that long ago. My computer won't move right now, so I'm not gonna worry about it. But I'll figure it out. Okay. Okay. Well, I think I only had one other question, and it was actually back into the app when you were taking stats.
Yep.
So one of the things that we have a lot of issue with is kills not off of the setter. It seems like every time the setter gets a kill, or every time an attacker gets a kill, the point automatically goes to the setter.
The assist.
How do we adjust that?
Yeah, there's an assist button.
Uh-huh.
Let me go back. I'm on the wrong screen. One second. So in both products, there is an assist button.
Right.
And so let's do an example. So right now, the designated setter is Kaylee. Okay. So let's say Leah makes a kill, right? So, but Kaylee didn't set the ball. So we hit the assist button over here, right? And Jackie set the ball.
Okay.
Okay. So now you see. So we have assist, right, Jackie here. So if you look in the point log itself, you notice that Leah made the kill, and then Jackie made the assist.
Okay, I felt like for some reason when we were doing that before, we were getting too many assists. It was like the setter was still getting an assist, and we didn't catch it right away, I don't think. I felt like when we were uploading it into Max Preps was, telling us there couldn't be more assists than kills. We were running into some type of weird problem, but maybe it was just the stat keeper itself. It was not the actual, it was probably human error.
That's well, that's kind of weird that you could even, go beyond though.
Yeah, I had it happen numerous times this last year with Max Prep where I would go to load and it would say assists can't, the number of assists cannot be more than the number of kills.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, so in those situations,
so
you
then
should
what
definitely.
I was actually doing was editing online. So.
Yeah, you should definitely get a hold of me when you have those situations so that we can actually debug it and make sure that there isn't something in the code. Because I, to be honest with you, I've never seen that particular bug from anybody. So definitely send that kind of stuff to me.
Well, I might without question, it's probably human error. It's probably our stat keeper.
Well, but see, the problem I have with that though is it's actually kind of hard to create that situation. Is my concern.
Yeah, well, I will tell you that part of what I found one time was that on Max Prep, we did not have all of our players listed.
Yeah.
On Max Prep.
Yeah.
So as it was importing over, it was, all the players were listed in the app, but then it couldn't send those stats into Max Prep. If that makes sense. So it'd be like number 8 was not listed on Max Prep. So her whole stat line was omitted.
Yeah.
But there was another time that I did not have that issue. I just went and adjusted this. So I'm not really sure. If for some reason it arrives again, I'll be happy to send it to you and let you look at it.
Yeah, definitely. Just anytime anything weird like that happens where you can't figure out what's going on, send it to us because, I mean, it could be a bug someplace or it could be somewhere in the way we encode it relative to sending it to Max Preps too. So there's always some possibility of little linkage problems.
Okay.
So,
well, I think it looks good.
What is your rough idea about how many teams you want to put on your system?
I know right now there's 3 of us that use it. There are a number of other coaches that use another app or still use pen and paper. We're trying to push them towards this.
Right.
I would roughly say we have 37 teams on our club. We would love to get to the point where most of our travel teams use this. We have 19 travel teams, 20 travel teams. So I don't know this first year that we'll get them all to use it, but let's say 15,
Okay.
15 teams.
Yeah. That'd be great.
We would definitely love for our top, our 1s and 2s teams, our elite level teams, to use the app.
Okay.
But again, we won't force it. We have some people that are still, dare I say, in the Stone Age. They don't want to use their phones, or they want pen and paper makes them feel better. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I mean yeah, I'm familiar with that situation. we have our own club issues.
But
so.
we are seeing younger coaches or assistant coaches coming in, and like I know our 18s is dying to use it, our 16s wants to use it. They were holding off on buying the subscription until we figured out if we were going to do this as a club or not as a club.
Okay.
Our 17s should be using that. Our 15s are already using the app. So we're slowly going to try to work.
And the other thing that if you get this range of subscriptions, we're happy to provide a free online live seminar. People don't even have to be in the same place.
Great.
We can just do it as a webinar, and they can log in from home or wherever they are.
Okay.
And I could take them through the entire process and do Q&A and anything else people need to get set up.
Okay. Well, we will definitely have a talk about this in the coming days, and then someone will be in touch soon.
Okay, good. Jonathan, anything?
Thank you guys for getting to meet with me.
Thanks, Alan.
Thank you guys.
All right. Bye.